What's up, everybody? Jamie with A Taste from Tate here. Wanted to share with you a little taste of what I went through yesterday. Yesterday was Tuesday. Tuesday is typically the senior pastor's day off. And so around 11:30, I went home for lunch. I got back around noon. When I got back, Miss Mary, the secretary, had a message saying somebody had called from the Century Prison, wanted to talk to a pastor. I live in Pensacola. If you've ever been to Pensacola, you've probably traveled through the small town of Century, which is about an hour north of Pensacola. So I called them back, and they said, Pastor Tate, we've got a little bit of a situation. We've had a prisoner pass away. No friends, no family. That's not uncommon to happen. We have a nice pauper's graveyard that we bury inmates in this situation in. And typically our chaplain will go conduct a small service for them. However, our chaplain's out with COVID. Is there anyone there that could come do a small service? I said, sure. When are you looking at? They said, today. I said, I could probably get out there today. What time? They said 12:30. It's about 12 now. It's an hour away. I said, unless you can get me an escort, there's no way I'm going to make 12:30. They said, listen, if you'll just leave right now, nothing ever starts on time. If you'll just get here, they probably won't even be done by the time you get there. You'll probably be perfect timing. I said, okay, I'm leaving right now. So I ran home, jumped in my van, took off to Century, got behind, of all things, a funeral procession. So I'm waiting and going through all that. So I get to Century right around 1:40, 1:45. When I get there, there's no address. They gave me instructions after I passed the entrance to the prison. There's a gravel road that cuts through the forest. And so I'm driving, I get there, there's the turnoff for the prison. I'm looking, there's the gravel turnoff, other side of the highway. Had to go down, make a U-turn, come back, turned down the gravel road. Now, as you go down this very forested gravel road, there's suddenly a big opening where they've just cleared some trees. There's a small house out to the back. There's a small area where the deceased has been buried. There are two guys who had the job of burying the deceased. Everybody else is gone. I'm thinking, oh, this is great. The two guys must have just finished. They're sitting there eating their lunch in the shade of the trees. And I said, buddy, I've driven this whole way. We're having a service. I've been coaching a flag football team, so my voice was shot. But it's a church service. I felt I should sing. So I walked out with my Bible boldly and confidently and said, gentlemen, I'm sorry that I'm late, but if you'll stand up for just a few moments, 5-10 minutes, I'll be out of here. So the two guys stood up. One guy was probably early 20s. The other guy, probably early 60s. I sang Amazing Grace. I felt led to sing something because it was a service. Then I gave the gospel. I preached and quoted scripture, went through the Romans road, talked about how we can know we can go to heaven when we die. When it was all over, I prayed. I thanked those two men for their time. And as I turned to leave, the older gentleman came up and bear hugged me. And I thought, wow, he must have really felt moved, or maybe he knew the guy. And I put my hand on his shoulder. I said, sir, you all right? He said, yes, sir. Tear coming down his cheek. I said, do you know the Lord? He said, yes, sir, I do. I said, well, listen, if I can do anything for you. He said, well, the thing is, I've been doing this for 25 years. And that is the very first time that I have ever heard somebody pray over a septic tank. Whoops. Just kidding. I heard comedian Jonathan Perry with the Cajun Comedy tell a story just like that, and I adjusted it for me. I hope you've enjoyed a taste of that. Hope you have a great day.